Welcome back. I am Tyler here with my brother Ryan, and today we are breaking down the Kansas City Chiefs 3-round mock draft and the players that we selected for them. But before we do that, be sure to like, subscribe, and also ring the bell to get notified whenever we create more Kansas City Chiefs mock drafts. We have 3-round and also 7-round mock drafts leading up all the way to the 2024 NFL Draft. As well, every Monday we will both be releasing a mock draft and alternating Mondays on when we release them. Lastly, we are trying to get to 3,000 subscribers by the end of the Super Bowl, so just a couple weeks from now. So be sure to subscribe to the channel, and it is the easiest way to help us grow. So we appreciate it. Ryan, let's pull up the slides here. Quickly, just to orient you on what you're looking at here. So obviously the pick in red, that is who Kansas City selected. We did do this before the divisional round, so some of the numbers might have changed. We feel like the position and some of the players will still be there. So I think it's kind of more this late in the draft. It's kind of theory, but we included some of the picks before and then also after as well, just to give some context on who was available. We did also include some of the other potential options also of some players that were taken later on that the Kansas City Chiefs could have also taken. So want to start off here. It's the more and more mock drafts that I do, the more and more I'm just solidified that they are going to be taking a receiver. With this first overall pick. Doesn't matter if it's going to be 29th, 30th, 31st, 32nd, no matter. Good luck this weekend. And so I just think with all the talent that is there, and I look at the other players available where there's a lot of question marks, even like if they want to address the offensive line, there's still question marks with Jordan Morgan or Graham Barton or Tyler Guyton or Patrick Paul. Defensively, even like if Leonard Taylor falls and they want to start developing for Chris Jones or even some of the secondary guys as well. Like that's what I'm trying to figure out what some of their biggest needs are. They're pretty set on the defensive side. But receiver wise, though, that's the spot that just keeps coming up. Like they need a lot of help there. And this is the draft to do it. If you're going to take a late first round receiver, this is going to be the time. There's a lot of guys that I really like. I could even see them potentially trading up and go and getting a guy like Troy Franklin, who was taken 23rd overall in our draft. And so when you look at Tez Walker, you've seen him play live. What are some of your thoughts on this player, what he can bring to the Chiefs?
Yeah, he's an explosive, quick twitch kind of versatile receiver that can kind of go anywhere, right? You can line him up in the slot, you can line him up in the Z, you can line him up at the X. I wouldn't line him up in the backfield. He's a little too thin for that, but he's about, I believe, 6'2", 200.
I'll look it up here.
6'2", 200. Just a fantastic wide receiver. The biggest thing I think that Chiefs fans are wondering is what is his drop percentage, and it is 6.8%, which is smack dab average, which frankly is an improvement for this wide receiver room. He doesn't drop a lot of easy balls, and for me, his hands are actually a big plus. He only played in 7 games this year for the Tar Heels, I believe. Maybe 8. He had some eligibility issues at the beginning of the year, but he won on the outside. He won in the slot. He was Drake May's top target, and I think he'll be a draft riser here. Honestly, if he's here at 29, I think that's a steal for the Kansas City Chiefs. So.
Yeah, I can see guys also like Lad McConkey right there, A.D. Mitchell. I will say we've talked about Xavier Worthy a lot. You're really high on him. I will say my one thing is I'm not that smart a guy, but my knock on Xavier Worthy is that he does have a lot of drops. And if I'm able to recognize that, I think that the Chiefs are going to be able to recognize that. So I'm curious to see how the Chiefs will view Xavier Worthy because other than that, I agree with that take. I think Xavier Worthy is also a potentially good option here. I think he would kind of fit perfectly into what Patrick Mahomes and this offense likes to do. So let's move on though now to their second pick. I think a potential double up opportunity is like really focus on receiver as well and just get as much young talent in there. Take a Green Bay Packers approach and get Kadarius. Oh, I think that's already done. I think he got himself out of there. But ended up going with Karen Megadije. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Kyron Amigadeji, I believe. Close enough.
Well, I messed up the first. I thought that's the one that I knew. I call him Karen. I think I called him Karen.
Yeah.
That's going to be his name now on this
channel. For those of you that don't know, Tyler cannot pronounce names for his life.
I literally could barely pronounce my own name. I had a lisp growing up. I couldn't say my R's. My name's Tyler Tracy, so imagine how hard that was. Tyler Tracy. Anyways, let's get serious now. I think we went with this pick, a lot of different routes that they could go here. So ended up going with the offensive tackle depth, building up some more offensive line guys here. What do you like about Kyron here?
So my big thing is he played right tackle and left tackle. He's going to come in. He's going to be a good swing tackle there. for the Chiefs. They did pay Jawan Taylor a lot of money, and then they also drafted Wanya Morris last year. To me, Wanya Morris has promise, but it hasn't quite worked out. And so I think adding another tackle, making sure that you protect Patrick Mahomes is going to be essential, because this year he has been under siege. It's been a really bad year for that Kansas City Chiefs offensive line. I also do think you could, if in a pinch, kick him into guard. If he is able to find playing time there, then great. But again, just a really solid offensive line, and I really like what the kid from Yale brings to the table. So
I do think, to your point, well, I agree. Patrick Mahomes has been under siege. Offensive line play could definitely be improved. I think one of the things, though, too, this is why I'm trying to think of like key areas like where the Chiefs can improve immediately. I think a lot of it too is just poor like talent, like in the skill position room, and where guys just couldn't get open. Also on top of that as well. Like you go look at the Raiders game on Christmas Day. Raiders had a phenomenal game plan, and they shut down all those receivers. But at the same time, too, the receivers couldn't really do much of anything or get open. So Patrick Mahomes was improvising a bunch. So that's where I think it's also merit to think about what offensive, like if they went receiver again and just double dipped. So, but I do think there's some good defensive players I think that they could take here. DJ Dames, I think, to help out in secondary. Also, TJ Tampa was taking just a couple picks before all this by Tampa. So I think that those could be some secondary guys potentially that they go that route. So,
yeah,
but I agree with you completely on like the analysis and potentially could kick in. But worst case scenario, just good backup tackle depth.
I will say I misspoke. He played left tackle and left guard at Yale. So he definitely can kick in there as well. So let's move on now to their third pick in the third round. We went with Chris Abrams-Strain, a really versatile cornerback here. Most likely is not going to be playing outside. I think he's going to be too big and not quite fast enough, but really good physical slot corner, maybe a nickel, or a box safety or something along those lines, that I think that this Kansas City defense would be really happy to have. Just bring some physicality at the second level. Nick Bolton, Willie Gay do that really well. I think if you add another guy there at the safety position or slot corner that can stick his nose in there and running plays and be physical with guys off the line of scrimmage, I think that would be a fantastic fit here with Chris Abrams-Strain.
Yeah, I can see a guy like Steve Spagnuolo really liking this guy if you're able to move him around. And so if he can't make it on the outside, but he can move inside to slot or strong safety, I think move him around, help out with a lot of those blitz packages. So I really like the player. And so I think it's good value this late into the draft so far, like just inside the top 100. So let's quickly recap here. Going with Tez Walker, then Kyron Omega DJ, and then Chris Abrams-Strain as well. I think they hit all different levels, I think, of the team and these first three rounds. I will say, and so depending on what happens within the divisional round as well, they will be moving around a little bit on their overall picks. But in general, I think the overall philosophy is the same on the strategy that they will be taking towards how they want to approach each of these rounds here. So I honestly do think it's possible that they take two receivers within those first couple of picks, and just because that is really their biggest weakness overall is just getting some more skill position players. I think they're seem like heavily on Travis Kelce and Rashee Rice, so we'll have to kind of see how that ends up panning out for the rest of the postseason. So
exactly. And so I think they could double dip as well. That receiving room is not good in the slightest. And so getting Patrick Mahomes a new kind of array of weapons, I think, would be a fantastic idea here. And then also getting him a little bit more protection as well, I think would be a good fit. So let's go ahead and wrap up this video here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below on what you thought of this Chiefs 3-round mock draft. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Let us know what you do differently. And on that, we'll see you guys next time.